everyone, it's Andrea and welcome to this edition of Talks in the Car. Yesterday I had the opportunity to see a video that was on TikTok that was absolutely just beautiful in of itself, but then as I began to look at it and study it a little bit more, there was a powerful message that came that I wanted to share with you. So in the video, there was some sort of athletic game. I'm not sure if it was a football game or something, but there were people in the stands, and there was a gentleman who noticed this particular girl and wanted to get her phone number. Now, here's where the details of the story are really important. The gentleman was down front. He was like probably in the first set of bleachers, way down the front. The girl, on the other hand, was located a good 10-15 bleachers up, far from him. So however way that worked out, he noticed her. He wanted to meet her. And I guess he had a conversation with people that were around him. And so one particular gentleman said he was going to help out the situation. He took the man's phone. He climbed up on the bleachers, gave the phone to the girl, asked her to put in her phone number, saying that this particular gentleman admired her and such. And she was just so flattered and overcome. And she put her phone number in. The leg man, per se, the wing guy, he went back down, delivered the phone back to his friend or to the gentleman. The gentleman called her on the spot because he was saying he wanted to make sure that she really did give him his phone number, and they actually ended up dating. And so as I was watching this, I was like, you gotta love the man who says, look, I see what I want, I'm gonna go for it. That confidence in a man to be able to say, I like her, I want to get to know her. He's like looking around, climbing bleachers, doing all of that to get her. So that was the beauty of the whole situation. And then again, they ended up dating. But here's where God began to minister to me about this story and how that can apply to myself and how it can apply to you as well. First of all, this particular guy, the admirer, was in the front. He was down watching the game from down front. He had no reason to be looking behind him because what was happening was in front of him. However, in his observation, he's looking around, and from, like I said, a good 10-15 bleachers up and away, this girl is highlighted and he notices her. And so part of this lesson is that it does not matter where you are in life. It doesn't matter where you are in the stands. If God wants somebody to notice you, he will put you in their line of vision no matter where you are. There is no reason in the world why this girl should have been noticed by that gentleman just because of where she was positioned. She was 15 bleachers away. She was in the back. Granted, she was elevated, but there's no reason why he should have been looking in that direction because the game and what he was concentrated on was up front. And so point number 2, if you are focused on God, if someone is focused on God, God will direct their eyesight. God will direct your line of vision to notice the people, to notice the things, to notice the details that you need to notice in order to receive your blessing. Point number 3. He was down front. So if you have ever been to a game or you've been to a concert, you know how the bleachers slope. And so he was down front low. She was in back high. She was elevated to a point where she could be seen. He way down front, like I said, being down in the front, you are lower as you get closer to the stage. But she was being elevated up. God will elevate you. God will elevate us. so that no matter where someone is, no matter what position someone is in, they will be able to see us. They will be able to see you. They will be able to see me. So your position doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you feel that because of circumstances you're behind in, say, your employment. It doesn't matter if maybe you went to school late. It doesn't matter that you, instead of being 25, now you're 55. All of those things don't matter. When God wants you to be seen, when God has someone in mind who wants to elevate you, who wants to point you out, who wants you to be seen by, where you are is irrelevant, because God is able to elevate you and highlight you no matter where you are. We have to stop being concerned about age. We have to stop being concerned about position. We have to stop being concerned about circumstances, because when God is in control, when God is at the helm of something, He will elevate us. He will point you out. He will highlight you. He will elevate you to be seen no matter where you are. So once again, you may not be where you want to be in life right now. You may have started late. You may have been a late bloomer. You may have been pushed aside. You may have been rejected. But in the eyes of God, that does not matter, because when it's your turn in line, when it's your turn to be seen, it doesn't matter if you're here. It doesn't matter if you're in a different state, a different church, if you're at a different job, if you're at a different school, you're at a different career space. It does not matter. God will make sure that the people who need to see you, the people who want to bless you with favor, the people who want to bless you with that position, the people who God has put in place in order to be a blessing in your life, He will make sure that you are seen by those people. We don't have to promote. We don't have to be jumping up all around and doing all kind of extra things. We don't have to do that, because when God wants you to be seen, you will be seen. There is nothing that can happen. There is nothing that can take place that can blind you and hide you if God is ready to showcase you. And so as I was watching that video, it was just so powerful to me, because God let me know that, yes, Andrea, you're 55 years old. Yes, you may have been behind in certain things. Yes, you may not be exactly where you want to be at this particular time in your life. But that doesn't matter to me, as God the Father, as God the one who loves you, as God the one who will favor you. When it's time for God to showcase me, when it's time for God to showcase you, when it comes time for God to pour out His favor upon your life, there is nothing or no one that can stand in the way of God shining His light upon you, of God putting you in that position. The same way that girl should never have been seen. There was a stadium full of people. The gentleman was down front, close to the field. And here she was, way up in the stands, amongst a lot of people. There were female friends that she had that she was sitting next to. But when he looked up and when his eyes were fixed, he saw the girl he wanted. He saw this girl who, for whatever the reason was, who knows what made her special? Who knows what made her stand out in his eye? But out of all the people that were there, out of people that were probably closer to him, and I'm sure there was an array of beautiful women that were at that game, but for whatever reason, he zeroed in on her. He saw her. He wanted her, and he went after her. It's the same way in the spiritual. If God has you in mind, and he does. If God wants to bless you, and he does. If God has something special for you, and he does, there is absolutely nothing that can keep you away from that. There's nothing that can stop it. There's nothing that can prolong it. There's nothing that can hinder it. Why? Because God is in control. Because God is the one that is manipulating circumstances, that is allowing the right people to see you when you need to be seen. So if you're like myself and you desire to be married, God will put you in front of the right person who will see you. God will open up his eye, her eye, to be able to see you, to notice you, to see all of those things that agree with his spirit. If you're looking for a job, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the line at the grocery store. A conversation takes place with someone standing in front of you or behind you. And next thing you know, here you are in line for a new position. It doesn't matter if you want to write that book. Here you are. You meet a editor. That happened to me. I met an editor just on a whim that was able to help me finish my book after someone had did me wrong as far as me finishing my book. I was able to meet someone who helped me finish that book and then helped me with a second one and who's helping me with a third one. You don't know who, what, where, when, why, or how God will place you where you need to be placed in order to be seen. So be encouraged, because God is going to do it. Be encouraged. Just because you may feel invisible right now, you can't be invisible when it comes to God. You can't be invisible when God wants to highlight you. You can't be invisible when God wants to favor you. You can't be invisible when God wants to showcase you. You can't. You can try, but then why would you want to? Why would you want to hide and cover and duck and dive when God is ready to bless you? So again, be encouraged. Know that you are not hidden. Know that even if you are at the back of the line, even if you are down the street, even if you are at a different place, even if you are a little bit elevated in age, it does not matter to God. Because God has the final say. And when it's time for you to shine, when it's time for you to be noticed, when it's time for you to receive the favor of God, nothing at all can hold that back. Nothing at all can take that away from you, because it's God who is allowing you to be where you need to be when you need to be there. Have an absolutely wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see you next time on Talks in the Car.